Hi there, welcome back. How are you today? How are you feeling? So in this video, I wanted to talk more about mistakes, but really more about failures in this video. A few days ago, I put together a video about mistakes, and at the time, I was really inspired to talk about mistakes when we think of them in terms of relationships. But in the question, in the comments that JT had shared with me, her question also was covering not just relationships, but failures in business. When we pursue our projects and we want them to succeed. And that's where the whole fear of success came from. All those videos were all around this same topic. Our fear of success, where does that come from? All of that. In this beautiful video today, I just had this awareness that we did not discuss failure when it comes to the things that we do, not relationships. We've done that one. But in the things that we do, that we put our energy into, all our effort into, all our time into, all our money into, we work on all these different projects. And so many of them fail. So in this beautiful video, I wanted to take you through my journey, as always. Now, for many of you, you may not know that this is my second YouTube channel, not the first, but my second. My first beautiful YouTube channel is called Easy Mind, Easy Life. And I started that beautiful channel soon after writing Your Past is a Gift. So this beautiful book here. I was inspired to write this beautiful book. This is my autobiography, my life story, and all the things that I had learnt up until that point in 2017. So everything that I had observed and learnt, all the wisdom that I had gained from my first awakening was all gathered into that beautiful book. And then from there, I felt so inspired to create this beautiful YouTube channel called Easy Mind, Easy Life. And I would post often. There's over 400 videos in there. I haven't posted in there for a few years now because I kept getting pulled away to write another book. And then I'd finish that book and I'd get all excited and go back to my YouTube channel to share all the new knowledge that had come through. And then I'd get pulled away to write another book. And so it's been like that since 2017. So if you look at it, from 2017 that we wrote this first beautiful book, and you have Covered in Yucky Mucky Mud, Easy Mind, Easy Life, When Love Leaves, You Can Change Your Past, and I Am Light, I Am Dark. That's 6 books. That's a lot of books. That's a lot of information and wisdom that's being downloaded to share. So I kept getting pulled away, and every time I get pulled away, it's like 3 months full on download where I just sit and write and sit and write and sit and write. And every moment of my day is dedicated to what information is coming through. And sometimes I'll be at work because I have 2 part-time jobs. And sometimes I'll be at work and I would have a notebook and I would be writing down all the information that was coming through throughout the morning while I was at work. And so not often, but mostly. Otherwise, I would wait till I got home, and then I would keep writing because it was a lot easier for me to write it into the computer directly. And the download felt more complete that way than when I'm writing it on paper. The first book was all on paper. It was all in notebooks. I filled up about 3 different notebooks. And then I decided I was going to create a book, and it was a gift for my family. So I'd created only a few copies the first time, and I'd printed them all out on A4 paper. So that was my first book, Your Past is a Gift. And I'd made, 3 copies that I handed out to family that Christmas as a gift. But something inside of me started stirring that it was more than just for those 3 people. And that I needed to look for a publisher, and I needed to create an actual book that anybody could buy and anybody could read and gain this beautiful wisdom from. And so that was my journey then with Balboa Press. Now, up until this year, I honestly believed that going through Balboa Press to print all of these beautiful books, to get them all published through them, was a mistake. And this year, I signed up with Hay House to do their author, this course they've got to teach authors how to promote their books, I guess, or I'm not even sure. So they teach you how to put together a website, and they teach you how to do all this stuff to promote your books. Because I was under the impression that when a traditional publisher takes over your books, they do all the work. I was done. I had already created the books, and then all I had to do was pass it on to them, and they were going to do everything else. And this year I discovered that they don't do any of that. You have to promote your own books. I didn't know that. So that's one thing I learned. So the second thing I learned from Hay House this year is that when the traditional publisher takes your manuscript, once they decide they're going to represent you, they take your manuscript, and it takes up to 2 years for that book to be published and to be ready for the public, for people to start reading it. 2 years. When I start my process with Balboa Press, it takes 3 months. So it takes me 3 to 6 months to write each book, except for the first one, because it was the first one. It took me over a year to write, because I spent that whole year gathering all that information. So all this time, I thought that publishing through Balboa Press was a mistake, only to find out this year that it was the greatest blessing. Because in this, from 2017 until now is what, 7 years? And in those 7 years, I've been able to publish 5 more books with more information, with new information. Every time I go in to write a book, I think I'm going to be writing the same. It starts off with similar information as to what the previous book ended with, and yet somehow it unravels as I'm writing over the weeks, over the months, into something completely new, and a new awareness is created at the end. A new truth is revealed somehow. It is just such a beautiful process for me. And I always think the last book is the most amazing, because it's the one with the newest information. And at the moment, I've started the next book. And even just in the first 3 chapters of the next book, I'm already feeling that this is the most amazing information that I've received so far. So anyway, that was my journey with publishing, thinking that all of that was a mistake. All of that was a failure, because the books were just sitting there. I've got boxes and boxes of books here, of the books. And I have decided that when we get to every 100 subscribers, I will choose at random 1 subscriber. So I'll need you guys to email if you are interested, because I will need your addresses. And what will happen is, every 100 subscribers that I choose, 1 subscriber that's been commenting and that's been interactive and really, into all of these videos, and I'm constantly hearing from them, I will choose one of you, and you will get to choose whichever physical book that you see up here that you want to have. And I will mail it to you wherever you are in the world. Every 100 subscribers, 1 person will be chosen. So from now on, make sure you send an email to hollie@holliebelle.com. I'm pretty sure it's in the description, my email address. So just look down there in the video description to find the email address. If not, it'll be on the website. My email address is all over the website at www.holliebelle.com. So I'll put all of that up here so you can see it as well. But I just need you to email once to let me know that you're definitely interested. Okay, you need to be a subscriber to the channel, obviously. And in that, let me know which of the books you are drawn to. And for that, you will need to go to the website, because on the website, there is a description of all the different books, and you see all the covers, and then you've got little samples of the different chapters of each different book. So you need to go through and see which one resonates with you, which one is calling you, that you would love to be holding in your hands and you would love to be reading right now. So get on to that. So that's that. That was neither here nor there. I kept forgetting that I wanted to mention that in a video, that every 100 subscribers, I will be choosing one subscriber that has emailed and shown an interest in one of the books and knows exactly what book they want. And then through email, of course, I will ask for your physical address and I will send that book off to you. Okay, my beautiful beings. So I finally remembered to say that, because I wanted to say that. Now, the Easy Mind, Easy Life YouTube channel was what I wanted to talk about as a failure, because I kept having to leave that to write a book. And every time I'd come back, the subscribers had lost interest. And so it was really hard to grow that channel. But what I learnt that was the most important thing about that adventure for me, that project, was that when I went into starting the channel, yes, I wanted to share all the knowledge and all of that, but there was a subconscious intention with all those videos that I wanted to sell the book. Because at the time, we were heavily in debt with my husband, and we had a mortgage, and we had all these financial issues. And I was praying that through selling that book, we could get rid of all of that. So there is always this energy underneath those the videos from Easy Mind, Easy Life, of this needing something. They're created from ego. And every time I go back and I look at them, I think, oh, they have beautiful messages. So sometimes I go back to pick up ideas from those videos. But you can feel that the energy in all those videos is so different to the energy in these. Because now, after all that time, from 2017 till now, we no longer have a mortgage. We no longer have the debt that we had. We are comfortable. So there isn't this financial thing ticking in my head that this is what I need when I'm creating all these beautiful videos. It's all about being of service, of passing on all this beautiful knowledge that I've received. Because I know that it wasn't just given to me for me. What would be the point of receiving all this beautiful information and then not sharing it? So that's what I learned from my first YouTube channel. And as exactly the same as the first video I created about mistakes with relationships, in every mistake and in every failure, you learn something about yourself. Because this journey called life is an individual journey. It's always about you. It's always about what you are learning about yourself. What are you being in every moment? It's not about doing. It's what are you being in every moment? I'm trying to think, I was 38 when I did a beautiful fitness course. And I learned so much, about nutrition, about fitness, about everything. I loved that course. But again, I went into that course with the intention that would set me financially free, that I would make so much money from all these fitness clients, that I would be a coach and I would be free financially. That would pay off all my debts, because I had all that debt at the time. The mortgage, the huge debt, all of it was already there. And so that was the intention behind that. And so, of course, that didn't work either. That failed because of what I was being at the time. See, I was in a state of lack. I was in a state of scarcity. And so everything that I would go into was always the intention of getting money. And what does this remind you of, this getting money? Remember in the previous video when we were talking about our beautiful relationships with our partners, with our parents, with our children? And with them, we are trying to get this love so we can feel loved. We had a relationship with our parents, we have a relationship with our partners, we have a relationship with our children. And all the while we are trying to get love from them. And all of these endeavors all of these projects I've had in the past up until now have been to get money. That is the intention. Just like with those partners and parents, your intention is love, to get love. All of these projects were to get money. We are in constant relationship with money. Money is just energy. Everything is energy. Everything's energy. And when we're saying to money, we need to get you to be what? Why is it that we want this money? What is this money going to do for us? With our partners, with our parents, we were going to feel loved. We were finally going to feel loved. And with money, why do we want money? Why do we want to get money? Why do we want to have an abundance of money? To be happy? To be free? Money is serving us in every moment. It is an energy. All we have to do is tune into the same energy. We need to be in the same frequency to attract it, to be it. Because the joy that you are looking for, that you will receive from money, is not out there. It's not coming from money. It's not coming from another person. The freedom that you yearn for, that you will receive when you get the money, it's not out there. It's not in the money that you will receive. You already are joy. You already are free. We are conditioned to think that we are not, that we need these things to be happy, that we need these things to be free. And the last failure that I wanted to share of my experiences, I've done many music courses, dozens. Once I stopped to think about all the courses I've done, because I love teaching piano. I've been teaching piano for over 30 years now. And I love teaching piano. Absolutely love watching the student when they get it, when they can play the piece, and that feeling of accomplishment that you get, a fulfillment that I can do this now. It's just, it can't be described. It's just the most wonderful feeling when you can play that piece for yourself and enjoy it and it's done, after all those hours of making mistakes, all those hours of failing, you can finally play it. You've mastered it. In all those courses, when I look back, there was one particular one actually that I signed up for, and it was to work for a particular school called Forte. And we had 2 weeks of rigorous training to be a teacher at this school. Again, the intention behind it was all the extra money I was going to make that was going to come in, that was going to help us pay everything off. And then when I start working with them, I get 2 hours on a Monday, and that was all they had available for me. 2 hours on a Monday. Afternoons, I was already teaching piano at home, and I was already earning what I wanted to earn from my lessons because I could set the fee of how much I wanted to charge. So I was happy with what I was making in the afternoon. But students are at school all day long, and piano lessons don't start until about 3 in the afternoon. So I've got the whole day. I was looking to fill up all my mornings with music lessons, with all this beautiful money that was going to come in. But because I was chasing the money, yet again, when I started the course, when I started working at this school, all they had was 2 hours on a Monday morning for me. And I was devastated because I thought, oh my God, after all these, 2 weeks of all these hours of practice and practice and practice to learn the whole system, and all I get was 2 hours. But to me, those 2 weeks were invaluable. Like, they were priceless. You can't put a price on what I learned. Because up until that point in my life, I was never taught how to practice. And so my practice when I would sit at the piano was ineffective, because I would start from the beginning all the way to the end. Every time, start from the beginning, work all my way to the end. So if there was a mistake somewhere in the middle, and sometimes songs can be 8 to 10 pages long, how do you correct the mistake in the middle if all you're doing is going from beginning to end and that's all you've been taught? And it never occurred to me to practice any other way until I did those 2 weeks at that school. So from that course, I became a more effective teacher, and I also became more effective in my own practice. I learned how to practice completely different. It made sense to me how they were teaching. So, to pull the song apart, and you do bit by bit, and you do 8 bars at a time instead of the whole song all the way through, and then the next 8 bars, and then the next, you break it into pieces, into parts, so that you can start anywhere in the song. Or if you have a problem in the middle of a song, you can just work on that. And to me, that's been one of the most wonderful experiences I've had, because I've been able to pass that on to my students as well, that knowledge. Other courses I've done have taught me how to be a better teacher. They've given me skills on how to teach better. There isn't a course that I can look back on now that I say I didn't learn something for me, to help me improve, either as a teacher, as a listener, as a student. I've always gained, always. So look at all your endeavors, and look at all your projects, and look at what you have learnt about yourself. It's always about you seeing you. What were you being while you were working on those projects? What were you being? Were you in a state of lack and scarcity? Were you in a state of fear that it was going to fail? What did you learn from the project that you did? Years ago, I've done so many things. I signed up King Human, I think it was called, or something like that. And they'd teach you affiliate marketing, and they'd teach you all this, all this wonderful stuff. I was in there. It was $15 a month. So to me, it wasn't, it was fine. It wasn't hugely expensive. It was something I could easily afford, I mean, at the time I was buying a cup of coffee at the shops, and that's $5 on its own, so $15 a month isn't really that much. But in that course, even though I didn't quite get the affiliate marketing thing, and I didn't know how that worked, and I couldn't get that moving, I learned how to create websites. So all of the beautiful websites that you go to that are representing all of the beautiful books, I've learned how to do that over the years. And that started with that course. So I've always gained something, some knowledge, some wisdom about myself, about how to do things better. Even with the fitness course, I know everything I need to know to stay fit. Sometimes it doesn't give us the intention that we had, but it's because we don't realize that we're coming from a place of lack. We're coming from a place of scarcity. We're coming from a place of fear, not from a place of love. So our failures are there to show us who we are, what we have learnt about ourselves. What were we being when we failed at those tasks, at those jobs, at those businesses, at whatever it is that you want to look at, that you were doing. It's never about the doing. What were you being in those jobs? What were you being? What was your energy? What was your intention at the time? And then look at what you learnt from that, because we always gain something We always learn something. And if it's not about the job to help us improve and move into a better direction, we learn something about ourselves. We always learn something about ourselves. There is no such thing as failure. It's always a blessing. All right, my darlings, it's gone a little bit long today, but there was so much information wanting to come through with this topic today of failure. All right, I'll give you another kiss. Remember to like and subscribe, or you can love it if you want. I love all of them. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video, okay? Bye for now.